Let's welcome the big fellow. Charlie, thanks for coming in.
No worries, guys. Thanks for having me.
Just great to see you out on the park. You look so happy. I know it's going to take a while to hit peak fitness and form, but just give us what it's like to be back. You look happy that first game, and, of course, the showdown was unbelievable. But from your point of view, it's been a long journey.
Yeah, absolutely. But, I'm super pumped to be back and back playing, and it's just getting back into that routine of playing footy each week out and, getting the body right for each week because I am getting old and got to do a little bit more to get the body back up each week. So I'm getting there, and the fitness is slowly coming. I wouldn't mind it going a little bit quicker. But
when you say age, what age are you?
I'm 28.
28?
29
yes.
in September.
Tell you what, that's the best age.
It's young.
Your best age.
You reckon?
28, 29, 30, 31, best years.
All right, well, there you go.
There you go. You've got a great time ahead of you. Can I go back a little bit?
Yeah.
To your first game back, Alberton Oval, Magpies.
Yeah.
That was incredible. Crowd just came from everywhere. They were that excited to see you, back on the park. How did that feel? Because it's a different sort of a comeback, isn't it, after such a long time off? But that must have been pretty exciting.
Yeah, absolutely. That was, that was something that I'll remember for the rest of my life, And the crowd was unbelievable and, like both sides, with Sturt, been a bit of a rival and having, heaps of lip from them and having our supporters and the team, my teammates getting around me and also watching from the balcony and my parents there as well. And, yeah, it was awesome, it was just playing footy too. And, that's what I love. And there was nothing, the coaches didn't give me any game plans or anything, just said go out there and chase the footy. So that was, that's what footy is about for me. And I loved it.
You can see the joy in your face. Take us through last week. The coach comes out and says, God, untrustworthy, unreliable, inconsistent. And he's probably right at the time, and we expected a response, and probably no better game, really, Charlie, to take on the Crows at that point of time. And it was a tight game to half-time, and you guys blew it away. But that week, how tough was that week, and what was said amongst the players? Because that would hurt when you're copping it from all directions. Yeah,
absolutely. We sort of, our leadership sort of took it on ourselves to basically rate each line, so forward, backs, mids, and so mids that have forwards and backs that have, sort of we changed it all around, and we'd sort of come up with a set of standards that we expected of each line, and basically, so to hold each other accountable instead of the coaches, like banging heads together and giving us a spray or doing a bloody FIVEaa session or whatever, you know how they used to do it in the old days. And, it was just driven a lot by us as well as the coaches. But, we knew that we weren't up to scratch, and we've been that way for a while. And that's the test, coming up is being able to sort of hold that consistency. Yeah, I sort of hate saying that. But, being able to produce the same four-quarter effort week in, week out, and that's been our problem. But hopefully we can come out this weekend and just stick to the way we want to play our footy, and that's 4 quarters, strong, tough, and move the ball real fast and kick goals.
I love being focused and intense, but I also like enjoying a goal. And what I see at the moment in the forward line especially, but when you self-kick a goal, but, one of the young boys, Butters or a Rosie, there's such joy in that moment, and everybody can't wait to get around one another. And when Sammy Gray is running in and then taking the Mackay and running on his left and kicking goals, it's a joy to see everybody enjoy that moment together.
Oh, absolutely. And, I mean, everyone...
It's great enthusiasm.
Yeah, it is, and everyone loves kicking goals.
Yeah.
And sort of, it pumps everyone up and gets everyone going, and to be able to hit the scoreboard when your team needs you, it's massive, and that's something that we've got to do week in, week out as well. Is that sort of hitting the scoreboard? There's no better way than putting pressure on a team than hitting the scoreboard. So,
Charlie, I think 2 of the players I was really pleased for. One's my favourite player, that's Justin Westhoff, who went back and performed really well, but he's a showdown specialist. And Ollie Wines has copped that he's had a bit like yourself, had an interrupted pre-season, then he comes back, breaks a leg, comes back again, and he played as well as we've seen him for a long while too. So those guys really perform when you needed them. Yeah,
absolutely. I mean, that's just where our club's at the moment. We've got we've got a healthy list, and to be able to sort of not let blokes get comfortable in spots and make them earn their spots is something really good and something that's you got to do. And it's very hard for the coaching staff to be able to pick a team week in, week out when you've got so many blokes performing in the Maggies and in the seniors. So the thing is, you've got to do what's best for the team, and that was what's best for the team. But those boys went back and with a great attitude and have been able to sort of come back in and really perform for us, especially Pep after his, late entry.
That's what I was going to ask.
That's what a couple of us said to us. Said to him, it's just like, mate, you won't get better preparation than that ever.
Yeah, exactly.
You don't.
His first 5 minutes, he set the scene, didn't he?
Absolutely, and that's the thing. You don't have all day thinking about what you got to do.
Winding yourself up.
He got literally 30 seconds to get strapped and put his boots on, and then run out there and get the footy.
Did you go out in the field and think, how come he's here? What's going on? Did you see Trav pull out or not?
It was our last warm-up just inside there, and Trav, he was like tackling and stuff like that and looked all right, but then as soon as he went to run, he was no good, and then next minute Pep comes in for the chat and he's all ready to go, and it's just like, here we go.
One in, one out.
Yeah, exactly. Well,
yeah, we only saw it late. I saw the bald head out there. Was he meant to be picked? I don't think he was. Yeah. But hey, the other one, Charlie, which is pleasing to see, Carl Amon's copped a bit over the years, in and out, but he did a couple of things on the weekend where he could have taken the ball out of bounds, kept it in, set up a couple of goals, and
very solid.
Looks like he's just starting to believe he belongs at that level.
Yeah, absolutely. That's the sort of way it goes. People have their easy kills, I suppose, and Carl was one of them.
Yeah.
But at the moment, he's been fantastic all year. He's every game he's been improving and very strong and very hard in the contest, and which is stuff he's worked on for the last few years, and he's been building his game, and it's obviously showing. He's strong in the contest and able to hold and shrug tackles and get the ball on, and he's a great user as well. So I love having him in the team.
Before you got hurt, wouldn't have played too much with Dougal Howard up forward, so only a couple of weeks, but and he was suspended for one of them. But how are you two working it out as far as who's doing what?
Yeah, no, it's good. I love having Dukes there. He's another tall, Drag's another really good defender, and we're working fairly well. There's just some patterns and stuff that we're still working on, and the way we sort of move the ball, and he's got great hands and great timing of the footy and kicks the ball really well, and it's just sort of more our patterns in working together where, one's going to pop up each week and kick, your 2 to 3 goals or 4 or whatever, and then you've got Ebo there as well, who's a massive work rate for us.
Can you do me a favour?
Yeah.
Can you just get a bit of sticky tape and just stop it slipping down over his eyes? I reckon twice he took great marks and it slipped down over his eyes like a visor. Yeah. And I thought, poor bugger won't be able to see.
Well, it fell off his head at one stage.
It did.
Ebo's been great, and he's been in good form, and he's kicking goals again, and he's got one of the biggest tanks you'll ever see, and he's one of the hardest workers you'll ever see, and it's good to have him there.
No doubt Ken Hinkley wanted you back, and there's definitely a presence. The little guys walk tall. I think Connor Rosie gets a bit more cheeky, and so do Butters and that when you're around. It's going to take...
possibly get more cheeky?
No, I don't think
it'll take you a while to get back to your best. I mean, you miss that much footy. It's just obvious it will take a little while, but it's great. And to get someone like Talia, who's probably as good a lockdown defender in the league, he's a tough competitor, isn't he?
Oh, absolutely. I love playing on the best players, and he sort of held me fairly well on the night, and sort of only had 4 touches and all that sort of stuff. But he's a phenomenal defender, and he's actually a hard one to get rid of. So I enjoy those battles. That I look forward to them each time. Your
job's not all about stats, so Ken wants you to force a contest, crash a pack, make sure the defenders know, and get the ball to the ground.
Pretty much, just stand there and try and bring the ball to the ground. Try not let them take marks, and because we have some smalls that are
dangerous,
very, very dangerous. So if I can bring the ball to the ground and to our advantage, that's just as good as kicking a goal.
Brisbane, who sort of normally might line up on you in a Brisbane defence?
Harris Andrews?
Yeah, he's come to me lately, but they've got Walker.
He's been out. Darcy Gardner's the other key defender.
Okay, I'd say...
But Harris is probably more for your height.
He comes to me most of the time. He's a very handy defender. I've sort of seen him sort of come through up in Queensland there, and he's a very handy defender, big boy, strong, long arms. So it'll be a good slog.
Have they surprised you? I mean, we could see the talent. I mean, they've had so many good draft picks, but has it surprised you how quickly they've gelled now. What are they, 9 and 6 or something? I think at the moment.
In the top
Brisbane.
4.
No, well, I think they've been building for a couple of years now. Like you see, like they never went.
Form wasn't bad last year. Was it?
Last year they
consistent.
never went away. You know, like there was never blowout games for them, or not too many. I don't think. Not, just trying to think now, but like they were always there, and they always just kept fighting, and they had really good young players coming through. And you always know, like when you got young players who are consistent enough to get there, they'll end up being a very solid team, and that's what they are.
Can't wait for the game. It's on Sunday. We'll be doing that. Charlie, great to see you back. And I know, as Tim said, the other guys walk tall and you look like you're enjoying it. And I can only see you getting better and better with a few games on your belt. Thanks for coming in, big fella.
No worries, guys. Thanks for having me.
Cheers.